Check out Kemi, aka Chemistry, coming to you live, yet recorded from Mount Vernon, New York, and welcome to my channel. Hey, we got a channel. We got a channel. I'm excited. This is video number 4, and I'm really loving the feedback. I'm really loving the commentary, the good ones, the negative ones, all of it. This has been a joy. April has been a fantastic month. Today is April 30th, the very last day, and of course, I was not going to let this month go by without dropping part 2 of Life and Times, Kemi as a Nigerian radio presenter. That's not a title, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah, so the last video I dropped actually was supposed to be part 2, but I really wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling myself because part 1 already was, while it was a great video, I got some good feedback and I got some reminder feedback as to, Nigerians. Oh, so you're spilling the beans. Be careful. Oh my God, you're talking about the dead. Oh, you must be careful of slander. All kinds of really weird feedback. So I got in my bag, I got my feelings a little bit, and I was quite emo trying to make that video. So I decided against it. But the one part I really enjoyed was when I was talking about what life was like in Nigeria. So I decided to clip it and just give you something to munch on. Pretty cool. My American friends, y'all got it. God bless y'all. My Nigerian friends, not so much. Because you're like, okay, this is cute, but we were ready for the amebo. Give us the real thing, what is this? Some of y'all didn't like the way I looked. I mean, considering the content matter, I felt like Vanity should have taken a back door. But this is Nigerians, my peacocks. Yeah, I mean. So, I tried this video. I'm giving you a little cleavage. This is 46, and I took on my abs and things. I'm giving you a little pink lip. Mwah. And this is part 2 of Life and Times as a Nigerian radio presenter. And without further ado, I know y'all been waiting. So, let's get to the shit, shall we? Okay, so in part 1, I left off after Oh Boy was trying to smash after the Akon interview. Around that same time, I did meet the promoter who brought Akon in, Sheila Okonji. I brought her on my program, brought her on my show, and she was actually working on an idea where in London, England, they have these award shows, the Mobile Awards, Music of Black Origin, and she was introducing the Best African Act, right? And she wanted my opinion who were the best African acts at the time. At the time, it was 2Face, Star Plus, and P Square. And yeah, she made that happen. Oh, side note, I should mention. I know a lot of people were wondering, how come 2Face has not made this story time? Well, he almost did. If you go back to part 1, the part where I was talking about Dare and how he helped, and Brilla, there was an edit. That was where Festac was supposed to be, but, Golden Boy in Africa, he has friends, begged me and asked me, oh, please don't include him. Oh, thank you for not including him. Because, the DBI still takes precedence to whatever the hell I'm going through in my mental life. But what else? That story time, I promise you, will come. Not today, not tomorrow, but sometime in the future. I will be dropping that. Because we're not going to pretend and act like they didn't have, the whole plantation didn't have an influence on my mental health. Okay, so back to Sheila Okonji. So with the Mobile Awards and the introduction of the Best African Act, the thing was she was going to actually fly out. So key members of the Nigerian media, as well as these artists, were all going to get flew out to London, to launch this award category. And yeah, I was very excited. This is like one of my first international trips that I did representing Silverbird Rhythm FM. I was going to go out there. I was going to get content. I was going to do my thing. It was going to be great. Amazing. I believe one of the deals that Sheila made with the station was that the CEO, Ben Bruce, was going to get like primo front row tickets to the award show. Big deal, right? Okay, so Mr. Ben Bruce was not able to make it. So he wanted Sheila to give the tickets instead to his niece and nephews who were out there in London already. Sheila has a very fun way of doing things in that because Mr. Ben Bruce wasn't going to be there, why is she going to go out of her way to get front row tickets for his niece and nephew? Meanwhile, Ben is thinking, oh, if you are promising me front row tickets, just give them to my niece and nephew. It was a thing. It was a thing. And guess who got the blame for it not going through? It was all my fault. All of it. I'm getting phone calls from Lagos while I'm in London. They're calling me Rhythm FM. Oh, how could you? How could you embarrass us? All this and that. JJ called me the next morning and he's like, you really let us down. You really let down the station. I'm like, but how is this my fault? You made a deal with her. I'm here as a middle person there. She's not doing it. There's nothing I can do to convince this woman to get front row tickets to the CEO's niece and nephews. I mean, what? That was actually one of the first times that I felt such wrath, such rage from the station. Like, I don't know what I was supposed to do. I swear, to this day, I'm just like, then I was very meek, so I felt very sad, very bad, and I was very depressed throughout the entire trip because that kind of made me feel like I had failed them. But as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I don't know what they wanted me to do. Whatever. The Style Plus boys, God bless those divas. They're like, oh, you need to listen to Imagine That. And I'm like, imagine what? Imagine these nuts? What the hell are you talking about? So these guys apparently, they were trying to promote their new album, Expressions. And I was like, I guess am I even going to go there? You know what? Yes, I will. So I think maybe they're trying to seduce me for airplay at this point. I'm busy being depressed, upset about what's going on at Silverbird. And these guys are trying to peddle their album. Imagine that. Imagine that. Anywho. So, that was cool. That was that. And then the following year, when it was time to do it all over again, guess who they sent instead of me? Wow, child. Stay with me. I'm trying to paint a picture here. So, who remembers North American Airlines? And this is people in Nigeria. America, once upon a time, there was an airline company called North American Airlines. And they were in Nigeria. They're trying to launch. They're trying to, become somebody there. So, I met the marketing lady, right? And she was like, oh, let's make a deal. We'll give you some business class tickets. Your family's in America, in New York. We'll give you some business class tickets. In exchange, you talk about your experience on your show. I was like, oh, we can do that? Sure, let's do it. I ran it by JJ because JJ was in charge at the time. I told JJ, like, this is what is on the table for me. He's like, wow, if you can do that, that's a really good thing. Yeah, go for it. So deal was set. I could tell though, she was a little nervous though. She's like, I don't want to get in trouble. I hope I'm not getting anyone in trouble. I'm like, nah. I told the boss, it's good. We got this. So, I had a good time. I was able to come visit my family in America here in this house. And business class, very pleasant experience. I highly recommended. When I got back to Lagos, apparently there had been a very big stink about me making that deal. Everybody was upset with me. They're like, oh my God, you're not supposed to be making a deal. Apparently deals like that were reserved for senior level execs at the station, not for mere talent, OAP like myself. Imagine that. I said, wow. I said, but I ran it by JJ now. He said he was okay with it. And I thought, what? Here comes Wild Child. Oh, the reason why everyone's making this thing is because you didn't write a memo. I was like, a memo? I was supposed to write a memo? True story. I have a huge phobia. Back then, I had a phobia of writing memos because I wasn't really confident in my written English. Even though I'm college educated, I wasn't. So I had a fear of writing memos. But I didn't know I was supposed to write one. Do you know later on, the marketing lady told me, allegedly, in fact, everything in this video is alleged because, I don't want anyone coming for me. So allegedly, Wild Child tried to go behind my back. Well, it wasn't really behind my back. He tried to make the same deal for himself. But they said no. This is what allegedly I was told, though. So I'm like, every time I try to do something, and I go through with it. There's some kind of stink about it, and this guy's name is looming around it. This is alleged, like I said. I can't prove it. Not sure, but I use deductive reasoning. One more example before I actually go into the crux of things. So there's this pastry company, right? I know they're a startup pastry company. They loved my show. So they decided, just to show up one day. They came with meat pie, cupcakes, all kinds of juicy, delicious goodies. Just to, say, hey, we like what you're doing. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is nice of you. So as they're there, I'm giving them a shout out on my show because I really appreciate the gesture. I mean, it's nice to know that you're doing a program that people actually appreciate what you're doing. Did that. That was cool. The following week, they showed up again with the goodies. And I'm like, this is a little weird and very upfront of them, but okay, fine. They must really want some promo. So I gave them the promo. I was like, oh, wow, shout out to, I forgot the name of the company. They came through, give them the promo they wanted. Here comes Wild Child. Oh my God, she's pimping out, promo time and just making a big stink. To the point where the station fined me 20,000 naira for them coming on my show. That I didn't invite them on. They just showed up because, I don't know, they just showed up. They ended up paying me back the money. But then I later found out that Wild Child went to the pastry company, offered them a deal where they sponsor one of his, I think he was doing some kind of Saturday day party or something, and he got them to sponsor that. Do you see where I'm going with this? All right? Because it's like, now, all of a sudden, I have an antagonist at my job. Mind you, living in Nigeria was rough enough, and I was always happy that even though I'm in Nigeria, I'm dealing with NEPA, traffic, all this stuff. At least I can go to my job, and it's a safe haven. But now it no longer wasn't, because now I have this antagonist is messing with my mind. Anytime somebody tried to do something for me, it was like, like the devil with God as the accuser, like, oh, this guy's doing something. Oh, look at what this person is doing. It was giving me a bloody headache. Like bro. My afternoon drive was from 2 to 4. Monday through Friday, I believe. Every day, 2 to 4. Everybody else had their shift. This is my shift. This guy will know to go to management and start complaining like, why is she only working 2 hours? It's not fair. Why is she only working 2 hours? To the point that I don't know what magic he has over management. But like, Kemi, after your show, we need you to stay 2 extra hours because it's not fair. I'm like, this guy, I don't understand. Is this all because you can't smash? Like, what the hell? Like, why are you on my case? It was the weirdest freaking thing. And then, back then, I was actually working on music. I was trying to be a musician. I had bars. So I'll come on my show, and I'll play my music. Just because, it's my show. I have a single. Why not play it on my show? I would not go out to management. Why is she playing her song on a show? Why should she playing her song on a show? Oh, Jesus bloody hell. I think being frustrated living in Nigeria and this frustration I'm going through my job, underneath it all, I'm now developing an addiction to drugs and alcohol. Somehow in the midst of all of this madness, I'm now becoming dependent. Drugs and alcohol, recreational things you do on the weekend, things you do. Now I'm just becoming a full-blown addict. I know in Nigeria, y'all heard the rumors. Congratulations, they were true. Things like that people don't talk about because, everyone's all afraid of judgment and things, but I don't care anymore because this is me venting, and I just do not care because this is actually what really happened. It's like, and my friends back then I used to hang out. They used to make fun of me because after work I'll go meet them in a place called Robert's Cafe. I don't know if it's still there. And they used to make fun of the chemistry. You're always having a bad day because I'll walk in. I just had a bad day. I need tequila shots. I had a bad day. I need shots. And I will go through, oh my God, my alcohol dependency. That's where my American friends, that's where my alcohol dependency came from. Just, you wake up, you're dealing with traffic, you're dealing with fuel scarcity, you're dealing with this. Then you're going to work. You're now dealing with this madman that wants to just pick on everything you're doing. It's like, there was no room for joy. I just remember like from like 06, 07 to 09 when I got fired from Inspiration. I don't remember any kind of happy. I don't remember, maybe when I was, the occasional outing or whatever, but I just don't remember being ever happy because every day was just waking up to frustration. And now, of course, now that you're abusing your body, guess what you can't do? You can't function. So now, I already had a tardy problem getting to work. Now, getting to work was a chore. Waking up was a chore. Because back then, oh my God, it was so beautiful. I guess I was that depressed. But I could go to sleep. I'll go home. And I'm home alone because I live by myself. I could lock myself in my house for 3 days straight and just sleep. Because it came to a point where I was having more fun in my dreams than I was having fun in life. And I'll miss work. I'll show up whenever it was a mess. And in the midst of all that, they now promoted Wild Child to head of programs. He's now my boss. I swear I cried. I cried. I know, I cried. I shed tears in my eyes. I cried. Because I now knew that things were going to go from bad to worse. To worser. Shout out to Future. To worser. And sure enough, it did. It did. Because in the midst of Wild Child being my boss, I ended up losing my afternoon drive because the premise is I'm not showing up on time, or I'll call out a lot. Which, at the time it made sense. It was supposed to be a temporary thing until I got my shit together. And I was actually getting my shit together. Oh, did I mention, when they took me off the afternoon drive, my temporary replacement was big time. Yes. See how that worked there? Like I said, it was supposed to be temporary. When it came time to release me off this suspension from my afternoon drive, remember it was one of his Friday meetings, which I hardly attended. Was it the right thing to do? No, I'm not justifying anything I did. This is not me being a victim or woe is me. I know I was probably irresponsible, but whatever. It is what it is. One of his Friday meetings, we're deciding whether or not I should get back my afternoon drives. Here goes big time. Don't you dare do it. Don't you dare. So this was never going to be a temporary thing. This was just all a ruse. You had no intentions of ever putting me back on my afternoon drive. You're just going to yank me, and I guess I liken it onto when Jay-Z was president of Def Jams and how he treated all the rappers that he felt were competition. Allegedly. Maybe he looked at me as competition. A combination of competition and a girl that wouldn't smash. I don't know. My guy, you're not my type. You look like E.T. You guys, put a picture of E.T. and put a picture of that guy. You're trying to tell me that you don't see the resemblance. I'm not being shady. I'm just saying. The way that guy treated me was not right. But what else? I took it. I was relegated to Wednesday and Sunday. I had the Wednesday night dance party, I guess, because he had the dance party, but that was the day he didn't came to work. I'm trying to remember. So I was relegated to that. And then some bullshit Nigerian countdown radio show, which I showed up whenever I wanted to. Was it right? No, but that's where I was at mentally with the whole thing. The dream had taken the backseat. The dream of coming to Nigeria and becoming a radio presenter and a star, that had left the building. Now I'm just trying to survive. Now I'm just trying to, with a growing addiction. Because I think it was a point where I was just drunk and high every single day. Yeah. It is what it is. It was what it was, but that's what that was. things got so bad that I think I was so depressed. And I feel like maybe management kind of started seeing it because I would now start having crying spells. As one day I came to work, I think I was a little bit late, and here comes Wild Child just yelling at me like a little kid. And I think I ran out of the studio just bawling my eyes out, crying. And I'm just like, I can't take this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I need to quit. I'm done. I think at some point they arranged a meeting with HR because I mean everybody could see what was going on. Ray Charles, blind as he was, he could probably see what's going on. There's something going on here. We need to fix it. So I had a meeting with HR, and they're like, I'm like, listen, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I'm depressed. I'm not happy. Life is not good. I think it's time for me to quit or something. I need to do something. And they're like, well, you can't run away from your problems. You can't run away because wherever you go to, you're going to encounter the same thing. And I'm just like, y'all just like me because I'm chemistry. You're just trying to keep me around because I'm chemistry and people like me. I have a fan base. I leave, I take my fan base with me. So whatever. And I always question the timing of this, but immediately after that meeting with HR, this is me, Wild Child, and HR in the office trying to discuss why I shouldn't leave or whatever. Immediately after that meeting, I get a phone call from Inspiration FM. They would like to hire me. They would like for me to come in for an interview because it's a brand new station, it's a Christian station, and they're on the come up. And I was like, oh, this could be God answering my prayers. I just always question, I mean, at the time it just felt like God answering my prayers, but now looking back, questionable. Like, why immediately after that HR meeting is Inspiration now calling me to offer me a job on their afternoon drive? I mean, I went there, and the interview process was the guy who was the head of Redeemed Church, meaning that it's going to be a Christian station, head of Redeemed Church. It was Dan Foster. Remember him from part 1? The guy, the big dog. He was actually going to be in charge of the morning drive. He was there. So I was like, ooh, I see it. I see the vision. I see it. Okay, so he got the morning drive with his American-ness. I got the afternoon. It's about to be good. This could be the renewal or the revamping I need. And plus, it's a Christian station. And I'm already a mess. I have issues. I have addictions. I have things going on that maybe this is what God wants me to do. So I quit Rhythm and I moved on to Inspiration FM. And this is where I must end the video because there's no way I'm going to talk about Wild Child and Dan Foster in the same video without having a total mental breakdown. If we all thought Wild Child was bad, rest in peace to Dan Foster, he was the worst. And I'm going to save that story time for part 3 because my transition from Rhythm FM to Inspiration, I'm surprised I survived that nonsense. But yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned to part 2 or part 3 of this story. You can't make this shit up, I swear.